Okay, babes. So, now we're going to talk about how to solve quadratics by the completing the square method. We're going to solve quadratics by completing the square. And here are our standards. So we're still going to work with where we have real solutions and where we have complex solutions. But we're going to focus in on completing the square. So what you're going to learn is how to solve quadratics by completing the square. Why do we solve quadratics, and how to find the roots, x-intercept solutions, and zeros. I'm not going to do these key vocab again. Only one that's new is completing the square, and I'm going to show you that method. But I am going to tell you we use completing the square when we have two variables and the highest degree or exponent is 2. So let me give you an example. So we can complete the square in a situation like this. Well, let me break that down. We're only going to deal with these types of situations. And maybe if we get in a situation like this. Something like that. Okay? So you see you have two variables and the highest degree here is 2. So I know I can go to completing the square. Alright. So let's try this one out together. So first thing, it told me to solve the quadratics. I'm going to do a quick scan of it. I know I can't use the square root method because I have more than one variable. So I need to go with another method, and the only one I know as of right now is completing the square. I have two variables, but the highest degree is 1. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw my line. And I still need to have my variables on the left and my constants on the right. So this constant needs to move. And the constant is a term without a variable. Okay, now I'm going to go and complete the square. So step 1. All I need to worry about, now listen, with this, your x needs to always be 1. If the x squared does not have a coefficient of 1, there is another step, but for the sake of you learning the rule, I'm only going to use when the term in front of, or the coefficient in front of x squared is only 1. So what you're going to do is you're going to write x and take half of -8, which is -4. And then you're going to square this. And you're going to set it equal to what's 4 squared? That's 16. And then bring down the -5. Okay? So all I did was I wrote x squared. I took half of -8, which is -4. And then I put that in squared. I squared that whole thing. And then I said 4 squared is 16. And then I just brought down the -5. Okay? And so now I'm going to do the math. 16 minus 5 is 11. So guess what we back to, guys? We back to the square root method. So we changed this by what we call completing the square so that we could get back to the square root method. So now I'm in a situation where now I only have one variable and it's squared, so I know I can use that square root method. And I'm at the end of that process for the square root method. And I'm going to put it in orange. So I know I need to get rid of this x squared so I can get this x up in here by itself. So I get x minus 4, the square root makes the square go away. And then since this is a square root, we're going to put plus or minus because I should have 2, well, because that's squared, I should have 2 answers. And then here, I'm going to plus 4. I'm going to keep my little line method going. Plus 4. And then we have x equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 11. And guess what? 11 is prime number, so I don't have to break that down, and there is no negative number. So the answer to this is x equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 11. And you can go in and write this as two separate answers that if you want, or in the parentheses form if you want, but I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to go up here and say my roots are x equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 11. So I got two answers, 4 plus the square root of 11 and 4 minus the square root of 11. And then the next one says where the roots cross the x-axis and y. So yes, they're going to cross the x-axis, and that is because there is no I in the question. There's no I in the answer. So this is a real solution. It's going to cross the x-axis. Okay, let me see if I have another one in here playing. Nope. Alright, so it's you guys' turn to try out the square root method. To try out the completing the square method. And then once you get finished with completing the square, go and flip to the square root method and carry it out from there. Okay, see you in class on Friday, babies. Bye.